Welcome back to Kaulignation, your one-stop shop for all things Kaulig Racing, Dingernation, SVGNation, and all things NASCAR, including NASCAR 25, which we will have more of on the channel soon. I'm Sean. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your Friday to sit down and talk about the one, the only Shane Van Gisbergen with us. There's a little bit of Kaulig Racing stuff to touch on as well. First and foremost, take a moment to click that like button and leave a comment. Leave multiple comments. The YouTube algorithm has hit a point where it is a nasty thing for all channels, not just our little channel. So every single time that you guys participate and leave a comment and uh, click the like button and share the video around, it helps us tremendously, and we would appreciate you doing that. In this video, we're going to discuss SVG's qualifying numbers for the past season. We're going to discuss what's going on with Kaulig Racing and all the changes over there and what we might be able to expect in the near future out of them and more. Big shout out to our channel sponsors, Lynn over at SVGNation, Alex over at Dingernation. We appreciate you. If you haven't yet, please head on over to X and follow us at Kaulignation or at Ramen is Racing. We would appreciate that a lot too. All right, let's dive into it. Our multiple choice question for this video is: are you happy that SVG has the 97 back? Or were you someone who invested in a lot of 88 merchandise thinking that would be his number going forward and are a little pissed about it, but ultimately happy he's still in it, just a little frustrated that he was in the 88 this year? Let us know in the comment section down below and share your thoughts there. All right, let's start with Kaulig Racing. There's been a lot about them going on lately, from ending the Xfinity Series participation to the Cup Series and the Truck Series. Here is the latest on the team. Chris Rice was on Sirius XM radio yesterday morning for an entire hour. The first half of the interview I thought was you could pick a lot of information out of there, and the second half of the interview not so much. And it seems like it's pretty clear he's being you're not supposed to ask him certain things because there's obvious topics that are not coming up at the moment. And one of those is Christian Eckes. It does appear that Christian Eckes is set to drive for Bill McNally. However, his departure from Kaulig Racing has not yet been announced. Now, I don't know if there's settlement talks going on because there's no Xfinity Series ride this year. Does he have to buy himself out of his contract? We're not entirely sure. Does he remain a part of Kaulig Racing and they just loan him to Bill McNally? That is also an option, believe it or not. Or is it an outright release and Christian is back with Bill McNally Racing, and we see where that ends up? We thought for a bit it might be tied to the 10 car and Ty Dillon. Look, Ty Dillon's contract extension was supposed to be announced months ago. We know a couple of the sponsors that are going to be on that car in 2026, and we know how many races from one of them in particular. And yet here we find ourselves midway through November, and there's still no contract extension announcement for Ty Dillon at this point. We can say that we received word rather from one of our sources here that said Ty Dillon is expected to be in the ride full time next season, and they're very close to the situation. And if someone's going to know, it's them. So I do believe that Ty Dillon will be in that 10 car full time. And you know what? The first third of last year, I thought he earned the right to have another shot. The last two thirds of last season did not go his way at all and left a lot to be desired, and that's probably understating it. However, we spoke with another source that we use here at the channel, and they said I would not be so sure about that full time stuff. And they pointed to Justin Haley potentially making starts in that 10 as well. So we're not totally confident which way it's going to play out. If you asked me today, I would say it's going to be Ty Dillon full time. But the longer we go with an announcement, the more I wonder if something is going to come up and get into the way of that. We'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, I expect Ty to be in the ride full time. We have 3 Kaulig Ram truck drivers announced: Brandon Butterbean Queen, Mr. Daniel Dye, and the one and only Justin Haley. That's 3 trucks accounted for. One truck is a part of a game show that we do know Dana White is at the very least producing. Chris Rice was talking yesterday on the radio about this big name that they had talked to, and you can't wait till he can announce them yet, but he can't announce them, and it gave them perspective outside of a NASCAR lens on everything. And I have to assume the name he's referring to is Dana White. Those of you that don't know Dana White, guy in charge of the UFC, big, big time guy, big time suit, if you will, in the entertainment industry, but also a part of TKO, which is the parent company that owns UFC and WWE. For you older folks out there, once known as WWF, previously owned by Vince McMahon. So he knows the entertainment industry. There's no denying that whatsoever. So we know one of the trucks is going to be decided via this game show. And, Ryan threw out the possibility on our stream last night if they could have the game show lead right into Daytona. They could, but the chances that this thing gets leaked are about 99%. Someone will leak who wins, who's expected to be in that truck. There's just too many ways that information can get out there. So I expect the show to launch a lot earlier than that. And depending on how they're editing it and how many people they have on board behind the scenes, theoretically, they could be filming their last episode, which I do believe would take place next week, late next week, or early the week after. Filming's going on as we speak. Filming was going on when Chris Rice was on Sirius XM, or preparing to go on, anyways, and has been for a bit. Um, we'll have to see how it all plays out ultimately, but I think that one of the trucks is going to be decided that way, and yeah. And then the other truck's going to be an all-star truck. Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, rumored. Chris Rice had a chance to outright deny it. He didn't. Just said they don't have contracts with those drivers as of yet. That's some key phrasing that you want to look into. And then last but not least, SVG. Let's take a look at the SVG stats for this video. Okay, this is just the qualifying stats. And for a preview of what's to come, we have a qualifying stats profile here that we're going to walk through for the next couple of minutes. We have a race finishing stats that we're going to walk through. We have a practice stats that are going to go up live on our Patreon, among other things coming for SVG here over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Let's get into the qualifying stats. All right. So the first half of the season, SVG's average qualifying position was 26th. That's right, 26th. The second half of the season was 15.8. That is over a 10 position jump. And even though they're long races, when you can move your starting position up by 10 plus positions, it is going to produce better results for you in the long run. Let's break down the numbers here. On short tracks, SVG had an average qualifying position of 22.9. The first half of the season on short tracks was 34.5, and the second half of the season, 19. That is a 15.5 position jump per race on average. That is ridiculous. That is some massive improvement, and shows that he is learning more and more as we go here. On super speedways, it was 29.1 for the full season, 31.8 in the first half of the season, and 24th in the second half of the season. So a 7 position jump in the second half of the season on super speedways. On mile and a half, he was 27.1 for the season as a whole, 31.8 in the first half of the season, 18.8 in the second half of the season, a 13 position jump, which is just a radical improvement in one calendar year. Alternates, which is tracks like Phoenix, Pocono, Indianapolis, Michigan, the non-mile and a half, but also kind of weird. They have weird quirks to them. I call them alternates, so we're going to list them as alternates. 24th on the season, 26th in the first half of the season, 21st in the second half of the season. So more improvement there by 5 positions. And then on road courses, 2.1 for the full season starting position, which is unheard of. 3.5 in the first half of the season, 1.5 in the second half of the season. So the wide landscape of these stats are that SVG didn't just improve a bit in the second half of the season, he improved dramatically. We're talking a level of an improvement that cannot be emphasized enough. improved in every single track type by a significant portion, and it makes me really excited to see what SVG has in store for 2026. Comment down below, share your thoughts there. What do you think about what's going on at Kaulig Racing? What do you think about SVG's improvement in the second half? That's going to do it for us. Check us out on Patreon for bonus content, patreon.com/Kaulignation. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications to all, and we will see each and every one of you in the next video.